If you guys are looking for any cheap and reliable coins, check out MMOPO.com. Use the code PINGU at checkout to get 8% off. Guys, welcome to number 4 of the Cadiz career mode, and to start off this episode we have sold Corrido, the CDM. I believe he is about 33, so we'll get an extra 1.3 million in the next transfer window, and I never really like making too many signings in the first transfer window just because it kind of defeats the point of doing that particular career mode. We have had a bit of growth as well to Lozano, pretty decent striker, like he's a nice backup to have, but he probably won't grow anymore because as you can see it's going to take another 82 weeks to get to the next rating. So yeah, obviously in the last couple of episodes we've made a number of signings to the team and definitely increased the quality. You know, centre back we've got 2 really good players. We've got Lasagna up front, and on the bench we've got Evans and Goodmanson. So I think all in all it gives a really positive transfer window, and we've still got a lot of players that we haven't exactly tried too much, but this is the player that we have sold. He is 30 years old, but with 43 pace, didn't really fancy using him. So yeah, in between the 2 episodes I had a few comments about not putting release clauses into the transfers, and you know, in terms of making it realistic, and I do actually take that on board. I probably should have put some release clauses in, but I think EA should kind of do it themselves, if that makes sense. Like, they should have to force you to put release clauses in on, you know, especially this league. But going forwards, I'll definitely put release clauses into the players. I just completely forgot about the, you know, realism aspect of doing the career mode, and just thought I'd get the best possible contract for the players. So we have finally got those scout reports back for the players that we did add towards the end of the window. Kim Shin-wook is, you know, he's kind of similar to Negredo. You know, he's a big, tall target man, very good heading and strength. Then we've got Dennis Mann, who looks really good and probably would have been maybe out of our price range at about 10 million euros. We do have Nunnally here, who's, you know, pretty much what Goodmanson is, but I think a lot faster with 92 pace. And I think the other one was Glenn Middleton. Again, another decent player with 63 rating, not the best, but definitely could have grown a little bit. Another comment that we did get was to basically turn this career mode into a journeyman save, and once we get to the end of the season and we keep Cadiz in the league, whether we do that or not, we'll have to wait and see. But what we could do is jump to another club within the same career mode save, you know, maybe move to like a mid-table team, maybe like a, I don't know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, maybe someone outside of the Spanish league altogether, like an Atletico Bilbao or a Real Betis, something like that, maybe a Sociedad, or maybe somebody in like the Bundesliga, maybe like a Schalke or a Borussia Mönchengladbach. But yeah, I think that would be quite a nice thing to look forward to keep us, you know, in the same career mode save. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course. So let's go into the first game against Levante. They are down in 19th, so I'm almost tempted, just to make things a little bit even harder. We'll turn the sliders even harder until we basically keep us in the, you know, we're in the relegation zone essentially. So we'll put that even up to 75. We'll go run frequency up to 65, line height down to 25, and hopefully it just make things a little bit harder for us, because at the minute, you know, we've got 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss. I know it's nothing amazing, but it's, you know, we're already up at 11th, so if we win this next game, you know, we could easily go into 7th in the table. So it probably will happen, because they are, you know, one of the teams that aren't exactly too good. So yeah, let's go into the game. Here we are then, back at home against Levante this time. Pretty, you know, similar rating to us, I'd say. They've got Ruben Vezo, who's a decent centre-back. Aitor in goal is actually 83 rated. I'm just trying to think. Morales up front's decent. Koke at right back. But yeah, all in all, it's a pretty similar team to ours in terms of rating. But then they've got a few players such as Aitor, Morales and Vezo, so pretty like for like racing in teams. So yeah, let's go into the game and hopefully we win. But at the same time, I want us to make this a little bit more of a competitive game than especially the previous one. Trying to say through the middle. I wish somebody would run there, but nobody has. But Fernandez eventually does. Now into Sanchez, cross to Fernandez with the shot, but blocked by the defender. Probably our first best chance of the game. Ball 3 or 4. Leon, really good ball, but a great save from our goalkeeper to prevent the goal. Now with the second shot, and I must say our keeper is actually quite decent. You know, someone did say if we did move clubs, we could bring some of the players that I particularly like from this career mode. It does get a hand to it, but unfortunately it does go into the back of the net there to make it 1-0 to Levante. He almost got it out, but as I was saying, if we do move to another club, we could sign some of these players. It is Ruben Vezzo, probably one of their best players, with the goal to make it 1-0. Chance here for Levante in the box with Leon this time, with the shot, but saved by a keeper who has been probably one of our better players performance-wise. Does make a number of good saves in each game. Chance here for Levante. It's out to Diakata with the shot and with the goal. As you can see now on these crazy high sliders, it's kind of why I didn't want the sliders to be this high on the Derby career mode, because, well, the shot there was just a bullet. Like, you literally don't think any keeper in the world could save that. If we just watch it back, even on the slow-mo, you know, it's just a crazy powerful shot. But I guess it means we get more realistic results. You can definitely tell the difference in the sliders now, but we will go into a few changes, trying to go a little bit more attacking now and hopefully get a goal back. Tackle there from Evans. Now we could potentially get her on the counter-attack if we can slip Lozano through here. It's a good ball, but maybe could have done with a bit of extra legs on it. Back to Alejo with the shot now. Hits the post. That's kind of my luck for this game, you know. If we scored that goal there was a slim chance we could have got something, but now with only about 10 minutes to go, maybe a chance here, saved by the keeper. And I must say, on another day with a weaker goalkeeper, we probably would have got something from this game, but Aitor being like 83, 84 rated, obviously a very good goalkeeper, and that's over the bar from Pepe. Great turn inside there from Diakata with the shot and into the back of the net on his debut. Does get a couple of goals for himself, and does finish off the game for Levante, get them 3-0 win. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we do move in the table after this result. And yeah, I'm just hoping, you know, the games are just more competitive on these really, really high sliders where essentially any shot goes in. If the computer does take it, like my keeper won't make too many saves. He did make a couple in the first half, but Aitor made a couple of really, really important ones. It doesn't actually have the other one in the first half, but it you know, I think all in all it's probably a fair result. We didn't really create too much, but we could have scored 1 or 2 goals. Next game is against Alaves, then the team also in the relegation zone, but again a pretty decent side. You know, they've got like not Jose Perez, Lucas Perez, Lejeune and Pacheco, the goalkeeper's decent. Albrighton from Leicester. So it's not, I'd say they've got a better team than us. So again, it's going to be one of those where it's going to be quite tight, and they may win by 1 or 2 goals, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look at the team then for today's game. Obviously, I don't know too many of these teams, but I know like the odd player here and here. Obviously, as I said, Albrighton, Lucas Perez, Pacheco, Lejeune, and you know, even Navarro, the right back's decent. I think Hoffman in the midfield as well. So yeah, again, it's going to be a similar game to the Levante one. If we can get the first goal, you know, that's what it is essentially all about. Depending on who gets those first 1 or 2 goals in the game, pretty much gets you the result. Fernandez in the box into Fernandez, but blocked by the defender, and it's going to be one of those, because we've put the marking and all the sliders up. Like, I think we're going to see some unbelievable AI blocking, and I don't want it to get it really boring where we can't score any goals because of the difficulty, and that might be what I've done already, because we've had a couple of chances and somehow the computer's just come out of nowhere and blocked it. So we'll leave it how it is for the time being, but see if we can score any goals in this game. If we can score, then great, but if not, then we may have a bit of an issue. As you can see here, not really any chances rising. Chance here for Devison into the near post, and as you can see, the shot error is very, very good indeed. Well, it's very easy now, so the computer is scoring literally from anywhere. You know, if that goal was on the previous sliders, it may have not gone in, but as you can see from this angle, I thought the keeper had it covered, but he has bended it around the goalkeeper to make it 1-0. On to the middle, but I've pulled him out. I always hate doing this because I'm trying to do something where the ball's going, but for some reason my player like next to him will do that and give away a penalty, so they do take him straight away. And it is this is what we're playing on now with 25 shot error. That is what they do. They just ping it in the top corners every single time, and there's literally no chance for the goalkeeper. Very good penalty indeed. I think I dived the right way, maybe slightly late, but it was just a perfect penalty, and it's probably going to be back-to-back losses. So there we go, we do lose the game 2-0 against Alaves, which is a bit of a shame. Fortunately, my Elgato messed up when the full-time whistle blew. So yeah, let's go into the next game, and I kind of like the fact what we've done with the sliders in a way, because we're moving towards the area that I want us to be, but at the same time, it just kind of ruins the enjoyment of the game, because, well, it's just incredibly boring when the computer are just making a ridiculous block. I don't mind the shooting side, don't mind them scoring more goals, but especially goalkeeping ability and marking ability, I'd rather them be a little bit more realistic, so I will knock those down by 5. It might be just a case of tweaking them, and eventually we will find something that does kind of work. But our next game is against Real Betis, and then we play Real Madrid, so even on these slightly lower sliders than the previous 2 games, it's not going to be that much easier. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Another thing that I was considering, because potentially moving to next gen on the 4th, by the time this series is over, I may move to PlayStation 5. I'm not too sure though, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously just focus on this career mode until the end of the season, then we'll see what kind of situation we are in. We do have a game in hand at the minute on a few of the teams around us, but our next opponents are Real Betis, who have currently gone unbeaten this season with 3 wins and 2 draws. And then after that we've got Real Madrid, who are also unbeaten with 4 wins and 1 draw. It might be a case if we get to a 3-0, if we're losing the game 3-0 or something, I may just look to simulate the rest of the game, because it's literally pointless to carry it on. So I'm tempted to try George Evans for this game, just because he is, well, in my head he's more defensive, but clearly Fernandes has much better defending than him. I could do something like putting in Hasebe into the midfield, who has gone down a rating, but we have had a bit of growth, to Ledesma, the goalkeeper, who has been probably one of our better performers. Probably do need to look at changing some of the development plans for some of these players in order to get them, especially the strikers, to 4-star skill moves. I'm tempted to try this Goodmanson from the start as well, especially in some of these games where we're not expected to get a win, but we'll go into the game, see how we do, and yeah, if we can nick a point, great, but I very much doubt it. Here we are then for a rainy game against Real Betis, which does make it even harder playing in the rain. They do have Claudio Bravo in goal, Emerson, great fullback, Victor Ruiz and Bartra, Alberto Moreno, I think that is, or is it Alex Moreno? Might be Alex, but then Carvalho and Guardado in the holding role, then Rashina, Fekir and Joe Queen, something like that anyway, and Borja Inglés up top. It's probably the best team we've played so far in this career mode, so it's going to be very difficult. One thing I do always find though is playing the bigger teams is easier than the teams towards the bottom, and we have got an early chance here with Kevin Lasagna with his weaker foot, does make it for 1-0, and as I was saying, the difficulty against the teams that are good is easier than the teams that are bad, like the ones at the bottom. So, the last couple of losses have been against teams that are classed as not great. Trying to say through the middle for Fekir with the shot and with the goal. They do make it level there in the 18th minute. A good goal from the Frenchman. As I said, I don't mind the computer scoring a lot of goals, but as long as we can get the occasional goal here and there, that's the main thing, and we haven't been able to do that in the last couple of games. But yeah, great ball through the middle, and second touch does find the back of the net to make it 1-1. I'd say for Lasagna, he's got the pace, and that's what really does get him through on goal. But a great save from the former Manchester City Bravo. So it's one of those where I need to get him onto that left foot, but I've only been able to stick him on his right. Well, across here to Fernandes into Goodmanson off the bench. Can he get a goal on his second appearance? Yes, he can. Really nice from the Iceland international to get us into the lead and to make it 2-1 with 15 minutes to go. Now that we are playing 4-minute halves, time does move very quickly, which obviously gives us fewer chances, and pretty much any chance the computer gets, they score. So It's a very, very important goal, and it may get us all 3 points. But as I said, the teams that are like top 6, even on like the Derby career road, like they were the easier games in comparison to the ones in the relegation zone, which is really, really odd, and I don't know why that is. But yeah, we're currently winning with about 30 minutes to go now. Corner with about 50 seconds left in the game. Goodmanson with the ball into the back post. Can my defender win the header? Yes, he can, and it does make it 3-1, and we do get the 3 points against Real Betis, a team that realistically we should be maybe losing against. But as I said, it's really weird. The teams at the top are easier than the teams towards the bottom, and yeah, we do get the 3 points there. Moving on to the next game against Real Madrid. I think that's at the Bernabeu, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, dependent on the result in that game, you know, I may change the sliders to make them really, really hard, because we shouldn't be beaten, you know, especially Real Madrid, but we'll have to wait and see. So into the next game then, it is the biggest of the career mode. It is against Real Madrid, and even after this episode, the starts off the next one, we do have Barcelona, then we got Villarreal, Sevilla, so that next one will be very difficult indeed. Also Real Sociedad. I might go up to 5 games an episode, but I'm going to keep it at 4 for the time being. But yeah, we may get to a point where we'll just go to 5 games an episode, maybe simulating one of the games, maybe one of the, you know, if I simulate against some of the lower teams, the team, I don't know, it's really difficult to know what are the difficult games, because I generally find teams towards the top of the table easier than the ones at the bottom. So I think we will be using our away kit for this game. I think it's the first time we are using that as well. I've put Goodmanson on that right hand side, since he did get a goal and an assist in the last game, obviously, to win it us. Yeah, we're still very early on in the season, so I probably don't know what my best 11 is yet, and yeah, it's just about finding it. Here we are then at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. Probably, you know, I think this is the biggest stadium in terms of the one that's actually scanned in the game, because the new camp isn't in the game, and I'm not too sure why that is, to be honest, but going to be very interested to see what this Real Madrid team does look like. They've got Thibaut Courtois in goal, then Carvajal, Varane, Eder Militao, and Ferland Mendy. Then a midfield 3 of Valverde, Cruz and Casemiro, then Eden Hazard, Rodrigo, and Karim Benzema to finish off the team. And yeah, pretty much everyone's, you know, some of the best players in the world, and realistically we shouldn't be winning this game, and if we do win this game, I'm just going to whack the sliders way up, even if it makes it incredibly boring, and, you know, just I want us to be in a relegation battle throughout this season, and if we're beating Real Madrid, then that just isn't going to happen. Oh, tackle there from Pepe against his former club, of course. May get an early yellow card here, but I just thought I'd stop the attack with Hazard down the wing. No yellow card, of course, but got to be careful with Pepe, obviously with his very high aggression. Free kick here for Real Madrid then. Got to be careful now. Pepe's on a yellow card against his former club. Cruza, very good free kick taker, does find the back of the net to make it 1-0, and it's a case of, you know, either you bring the player down, get the yellow card and hope they don't score the free kick, or they just run through on goal and score anyway. And I just thought I'd take him out and see if, you know, see if they score the free kick, and obviously they do, unfortunately. I think we jumped the wall in time. I've not seen this before, where they slow it down. Just kind of see if does the wall jump? Yeah, it does jump, but maybe not quite in time. Pretty much pin perfect from Toni Kroos, and they do get into the lead there. Related to Rodrigo. Goes out wide to Hazard somehow. Now slipped into the middle. Can Benzema get there? He does. Valverde chips it over the line, and they do make it 2-0. And it might be a case of, I don't know, playing a different formation against these top teams. You know, maybe a 5-4-1 or a 4-5-1, because playing 2 up front is kind of pointless, because, well, they just don't really get any chances to score goals, and midfield wise we're kind of getting outnumbered. Chance here for Benzema. Down to Cruz. Across to, don't know what my right back's doing, just giving Hazard all the time in the world, and he even goes around the right back and scores the goal to finish off the first half and to make it 3-0. And I'm quite glad, because it means we're on the right sliders, and I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry about changing them now, because, well, we're getting absolutely pummeled by Real Madrid in this first half, as we should. And yeah, next game is against Barcelona as well, so it doesn't get much easier. Got to be careful with Pepe on a yellow card, and I might be tempted just to rest up like a lasagna. and try a 4-3-3 just against some of these bigger teams, because we're just going to concede a lot of goals, and it may come down to goal difference in the end, how the season does go forward. So we'll pop Evans there, and we'll give that a go. I'm not too sure why Lasagna fitness is so low, to be honest. Yeah, it's not been the greatest the first halves, but I guess at the same time it means we're on the right difficulty. Benzema on the attack here. See, it's just so difficult to get the ball off them, and they just walk around you with ease, and nearly gets the 4th goal there. But we will look to make a few changes, I guess, because of the time remaining. I think probably just whip in on some fast wingers and hope we can kind of counter-attack and see if anything works there. Chance here for Real Madrid. Through with Hazard, across the face of goal, and there's 4. It just doesn't get much easier, to be honest. I guess this is the toughest game of the season, so as long as we can get this out of the way, and well, we've got Barcelona next, but you know what I mean. If we can get these couple of games out of the way, there's still Atletico Madrid as well, but yeah, all in all, just getting these tough games out of the way early on is probably a good thing to do. Just look how good defensively they are. It's like incredible trying to get the ball through, but Gyro there with the shot. But even when you get a shot, Thibaut Courtois is going to stop it very easily indeed. Chance here for Hazard, trying to get there. He's not going to get there. It's just the pace. It's the pace of these unbelievable players. Just run through and goal, make it 5-0, and yeah, it's not been a great game for us. And there we go. There's full time against Real Madrid. We do lose 5-0, and you know, get that out of the way and just end the episode at this point. We got 3 points against Real Betis, so you can look at the positives. But three losses and 1 draw. I kind of want that rate, to be honest. I don't want us to be getting more points than like 3 an episode, because if that, you know, even at the minute with how badly we've done in this episode, with 3 losses and 1 win, we're still mid-table with in 13th, and there's a 5-point gap between us and the relegation zone. So I'm not too concerned at the minute about where we are, because, well, we're just very high indeed. But we do have a very tough next episode with Barcelona, Villarreal and Sevilla and Real Sociedad. So again, if we get 3 points out of one of those games, as we did against Real Betis, then that's great. And that's how I kind of want us to go. You know, I don't want us to be getting, you know, 6 or 9 points an episode out of 4 games, because then it just gets, well, it just doesn't get that realistic. So yeah, we've got a little bit of time between now. Obviously, they don't have that many fixtures in December, especially. Like, that doesn't even look like a December to me, because there's nothing going on around Boxing Day and New Year. But obviously they have a bit of a winter break in Spain. So yeah, there's not too many episodes between now and the January transfer window. There's only 1, 2, 3 episodes. Yeah, 3 episodes until now and January. So definitely start suggesting some players. I honestly don't know what we need. That's the thing. Like, we're losing games, but I don't know what I'd improve. Maybe a central midfielder. I think that's probably what we need. Like a good ball-winning midfielder. Someone like a Bakayoko, ideally, but obviously we won't be able to afford him. And he's on loan at Napoli. But somebody who can just win the ball, because at the minute we've got 2 essentially playmaking midfielders in Fernandes and Fernandes. But yeah, we need something a little bit better in that position for sure. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Make sure you do leave a like rating if you did, and see you soon. Bye.